it's called Extreme Rules, so the main event must be called an Extreme Rules match.
Seems that way, at least.
Just don't do some stupid cage match. That's all I ask. Don't do a cage match. Now they're going to do a cage match. I know, it's just going to piss me off. But yeah.
Well, yes, WWE did do a cage match, and Charlie, I have to say, I guess past Charlie already answered the question. How pissed off are you right now?
I'd say moderately. I'm more annoyed than anything else because you know what? I guess me saying don't do a cage match was me indicating that I was pretty much figure they're going to do a cage match. It seemed to, in their clusterfucked world, a cage match still prevents interference, which I have no idea how that's possible, but apparently that still happens. And Seth likes to run, and he's a coward, so it makes sense to keep the cage out. I thought the weird stipulation was the RKO banned. That made very little sense to me. And I kind of didn't mind that Randy Orton picked a stipulation where he could win a match without using the RKO. Like, he could escape the cage. You don't got to use an RKO to escape the cage. You just jump the fuck out of the cage. So it makes a little sense, but this is going to be me being a total dick, because this is criticism for no reason, because this is wrestling, and I know the score, and I know the deal, and I know how this works, so I shouldn't be criticizing this. I'm just going to, for pure entertainment value, if Seth can ban the RKO, could he not just ban moves in general?
One thing, I just want to go to the chat really quickly. We have Jonah in the chat saying proof WWE watches PWF Empire Live, and also proof that they apparently hate you, Charlie. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you take
And I'm sitting here a Roman
bitter
Reigns
with the
fan,
sweet.
too. I'm very upset.
Like, why are they antagonizing you? They need everybody in that damn dude's camp that they possibly could have.
I'm a card-carrying fan, damn it.
But here's my thing, and of course we have to mention that it was set up in some weird roundabout because wrestling way. So if Randy Orton and Seth Rollins won their matches on Raw, they got to choose a stipulation for their match at Extreme Rules for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins chose to ban the RKO from the match, and Randy Orton chose a steel cage. And the issue here is, this is my only issue with it. I don't mind that it's a steel cage. I'm not anti-steel cage, but I am anti-bullshit. And WWE, since we know you watch now, you know the type of crap that you pull. Randy Orton went out there and said word for word the reason why it's going to be a steel cage match is because Seth Rollins has had everybody interfere. He's always had somebody at his side interfering for his benefit in his matches. Get a steel cage to stop that interference. But how many times have we seen WWE bring on a steel cage stipulation and everybody and their damn mama is
Last year at
interfering in the
Extreme
match?
Rules, it was a 3-on-1 handicap match with Cena and the Wyatt family, for God's sakes. And the idea of this deal, it was, oh my God. See, and I get it, the gimmick of the match, and we forget, and that's technically why the gimmick was originally set up. But God damn it, Hell in a Cell has done a better job of that, but we have a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view now, so that's so you can't do that.
So is that the reason why you don't like the stipulation? Is because they say it's going to be for this, and everybody and their damn mama is going to interfere in the match anyway?
A little bit. I think that there's that, and I think these two guys, I'm a little bit more of the, I don't need that stipulation. I don't need a giant cage surrounding the ring with these two guys. These two guys can go out and wrestle, and hell, these two guys could wrestle in a different type of match and just beat the living shit out of each other with, sticks and shit, and that'd be fine. I don't need them to be kind of confined to the steel cage, pushing too much of a story. Now, with that being said, the story does make sense, and I'll give them credit on that.
Definitely.
So, the idea of the steel cage, if you look at it and throw out the history of the stipulation, it does make sense. And by the end of it, I think they threw in that Seth Rollins stipulation just to redirect. I can't get mad about the cage when that stupid one exists. Seth just bans it's a one-hold barred match inside of a steel cage. So what's Randy gonna get DQ'd?
A one-hold barred match.
That's what it is.
Well, honestly, whenever they have no holds barred matches, you kind of just say, can you just call it no DQ, because it's basically the same damn thing anyway. But steel cage, yeah, we live in this world in WWE where they always have a way to interfere in steel cage matches. So that's, I think, why we had this kind of negative stigma toward it in the first place, was just because it was this match style where we've seen so much bullshit go down in it before that it's oh wow, we get more of the same. I mean, honestly, the RKO being banned, I actually was kind of a fan of, to be honest, because I thought it was smart in terms of the devastation of the RKO. That's supposed to be there. I know that everybody's finisher is supposed to be devastating, but the RKO has that like thing to it, I guess you could say. And I guess
And
WrestleMania kind of proved that. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but yeah, it did. It kind of proved that the RKO just has this like special aura to it, even though DDP is like, I remember using a move similar to that, but still, it is a very special finishing maneuver that almost always puts someone away. Like, you notice whenever Randy has a match and someone kicks out of the RKO, it's actually usually a surprising moment, and it still pretty much is, because almost every time he hits the first RKO, it's enough to win. You notice how they've always done that with his career? Like, Cena might hit 2-3 attitude adjustments and people kick out. And I'm not saying nobody's ever kicked out of the RKO, because people have. But it seems to be less frequent than, say, the attitude adjustment and a lot of other finishers. So I guess it makes some sense in terms of that. But, yeah, I mean, I'll say this much. The match will be enjoyable. I'd be surprised if the match is crap. Just the interference may make us love or not like the match so much. So I think that could be the biggest takeaway from it in terms of what the steel cage could do to detriment the match. However, I still think it could be good.
My question is, can Randy RKO J&J Security?
That's kind of funny, because it's like, if he did that, it's one stipulation that wasn't supposed to be there, canceling out another stipulation that wasn't supposed to be there. Like, shit, if I created this stipulation to keep them out of the damn match and they get into the match, that means that shit, I have free reign now. I'm good to go. So
there's that, and then I can't help but question Seth Rollins' choice. This is like, and again, this is because wrestling, and I'm willing to allow that. And this is not criticism. This is going to be purely for entertainment value. Why not have a stipulation where I get to use, I don't know, a pistol? I get to tie your hands behind your back. I get to use a sword. Like, you can't do any moves. You've got to be duct taped on. You got to be strapped to the mat in the position so I can give you the curb stomp. Like, that would be my stipulation.
It's like, if you open the doors to that, like, where do you stop?
Well, see,
like, just stopping at a finisher. Like, even though it does make sense to piggyback off of something that Evan said, talking about the RKO, let's all take into account the fact that the RKO was what defeated Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and not just defeated Seth Rollins, but Randy Orton countered Seth Rollins' finisher with the RKO. So that just goes twofold to show how devastating that move is. And from that perspective, it does make a lot of sense, but I can see how it would be frustrating if, we think about it a little too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, if you really overthink the whole thing, I mean, if you're the smartest champion on the planet, you would DQ yourself every single time, so that way you would just retain your championship, or purposely walk away every time. Like, you would
We've had people do that, and then they make a no DQ match. Or you make it with the champion if the champion gets DQ'd,
Right. So
I mean, how I would book this match coming up? I would have Randy RKO Seth just say fuck it and get DQ'd and give everybody the middle finger. I think that'd be fucking funny as hell.
See, I was thinking about that, though, but it's about more than just whooping Seth Rollins' ass. One very important factor that we can't forget here, it's not just Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. It's Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, who happens to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And this match is going to be for that title. Now, if this was in some dystopian future where what happened at WrestleMania didn't happen and Seth Rollins wasn't the World Heavyweight Champion, opening up that
but championships come and championships go, Jay.
How can you be an active competitor and think that, though?
John Cena said it out loud.
Shit, Randy Orton is probably there like, oh yeah, because wrestling, I know I'll kick his ass there, hit him with an RKO, and I'll get a title shot at the next pay-per-view too, so whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, God.